Hey everyone, this is Elise from Cycle 9. Today I want to talk about one of the most controversial issues I think I've ever run across in local politics when it comes to bikes. And I have a feeling that it's not just us who has this controversy. And that is the question of how should we build bike facilities? Should we build separate bike lanes that are completely separated from traffic, such as greenways and stuff? Should we build bike lanes on the side of roads, such as, making the road wider and painting a line on the road that indicates the bike lane? Or should we do some people call them shareways, which essentially is just you make the road wider, but instead of actually painting a line and saying this is the bike portion and this is the car portion, you just draw a little picture of a bike along the side indicating that bikes are allowed there and part of the traffic, but they're not actually separated off by a line. And I have to say, this is one of the issues that for some reason really brings out the woodwork whenever we go to a public meeting or any kind of meeting where we're discussing biking and bike facilities and how the town should spend money and what's better and worse and how we should bike. This gets people's blood boiling. And some people really feel very, very strongly that all bike facilities should be completely separated greenways and that is really the only safe way to bike. Other people have just the opposite view and feel that the only safe way to bike is really not to separate bikes but to treat them as part of traffic. And I myself, I kind of take a middle-of-the-road approach here, which as many of you know, is probably not that unusual for me. But I really feel like there are different people who require different kinds of facilities. Some people are only going to feel safe on a greenway, and we should have some greenways protected for those people who can still get around that way and feel safe. And I also think greenways have the potential to be nice cut-throughs and things where bikes don't have to go along with car traffic. However, they also have the potential to turn into nice places for walkers, people with baby joggers, rollerbladers, and all kinds of other users, which is great, more of a recreational use, but not so good if you're commuting and really trying to go fast on the greenway. I also feel that there's uses on the road for both bike lanes with a painted line and also in some places without a painted line. For me personally, I like having the painted line if it's wide enough, if it's a reasonable wide shoulder road. And I also find that at least for children and people who are more inexperienced riders, it kind of gives a guide for people in terms of where the bike lane is. Now, sometimes you can get debris and things hanging out in the side of the lane, and then that's a problem because people put their trash cans in the bike lane, people run on the opposite side of the road in the bike lane, and all these things cause you to have to go outside of the bike lane, which sometimes, cars feel like that's their territory and they shouldn't do that. But on the other hand, I think in general, they're generally a good idea. The shareways, the idea of just having a wide outside shoulder with bike indicator, I think these work really, really well for people who are experienced riders in traffic. It's the way most people who are experienced riders in traffic actually ride. They don't ride along the shoulder, they ride out a little bit into traffic in where the line of sight is, and that's kind of how they like to be treated. However, I really do think that for beginning cyclists, people who are not used to traffic, these kinds of shareways are really not appropriate, and they're not going to feel comfortable riding, and so therefore they are not going to ride. So if our goal is really to get more people riding their bike, I really do feel like we need to have all kinds of facilities, kind of different folks, different strokes. That's the way it goes. So that's my take on it. Add your comments below, and I'll see you tomorrow.